Okay, so here's the story because you wanted to know and wanted to hear it again. It's not all that, well, let me just tell you this story. We had another cat about 5.5 years ago, and the cat's name was Lucia. You might notice a trend here. We have Lucia, Lois, Luann, and Lila. Lucia and Lois were the two cats. Lila and Luann were the dogs. So Lucia was probably one of the prettiest cats in the world. Little black cat with a white mustache, had the gotten milk kind of mustache, and she was really a beautiful cat, but she wasn't all that friendly. And so on December 31st that year, 6 years ago, Charles and I usually sit down on New Year's Eve together, and we go over make our intentions for the upcoming year, and then we kind of put them out there and just to see what happens, and we follow up at the end of the year and do a little measurement to see how it works. It's kind of a law of attraction thing where we're putting our intentions out there and they work. So that year was the year that I learned that the law of intention can be dangerous. The law of attraction can be dangerous. Charles had on her list, she wanted an Itzer cat. And what she meant was she wanted Lucia, the black cat, to be a little friendlier. She'd bite you sometimes, and sometimes she just wasn't friendly. She didn't like to be held. She never purred, and she just wasn't all that friendly. Well, we took Lucia. We went to Florida on vacation for a while, and we took Lucia to the vet. We had taken her to the vet before. The vet was it's one of our favorite vets. I mean, the vet's great. We got no problem with the vet. Still don't have any problem with the vet. And we came back, and I had to head to Atlanta, and Charles went to pick up the dogs and the cat. So she called me as soon as she got to the vets, and she said, "David, they've lost our cat." And I said, "What?" "They can't lose our cat. It's a vet. They don't lose cats." And she said, "They've lost our cat." And I said, "I'll be right down there." So I went down to the vets, and I walked in the door, and Charles was pretty excited by this point. And she said, "David, they've lost our cat." And I could tell everybody in the place was looking all over the vet office for this cat. And she said that the girl came out from the back with our cat carrier, carrying our cat carrier, and had a cat in the cat carrier, and the cat was not our cat. They said, "Here's your cat." Charles looked in. She said, "That's not my cat. My cat's black and white. This cat's gray." And they said, "That's not my cat." And the girl said, "Yes, it is. It was in the cat carrier. It was in the cage, and it had Lucia's name on the cage." And she said, "That's not our cat." So people get excited. The vet comes out. He's very upset because he knows our cat. And he said, "That's not your cat." So we just tell him to call us. And we go all over town looking for our cat. We go to the Humane Society. We put billboards up, not billboards, but flyers up on telephone poles all over with our phone numbers and little tear-off tabs. And we do this for 6 months. We drive through neighborhoods, and Charlesa is really upset because she's concerned about where the cat is and how it's surviving. And so we drive through neighborhoods with the windows rolled down screaming, "Lucia, Lucia, Lucia." And, you know, we always think we might see Lucia on the road in one of the neighbors' houses or something. And we actually got some phone calls where people had seen our cat because they'd seen the picture on the telephone pole. And there was Lucia on the telephone pole. Well, we did this for 6 months. We looked and looked and looked and looked for Lucia. And then we got mice in the house. And I said to Charles one day, I said, "We've got to have a cat. We live in the country, and we got to have a cat." And she said, "Okay, let's go back to the vet and see if they've got that cat." So we went to the vet, and we said, "Do you still have that cat?" And they said, "Yes, we do," because we thought that might be the key to finding your cat, was to keep this cat. Maybe somebody got the wrong cat and, you know, finally come back and figure out that our cat wasn't all that friendly and want this one back. But the cat was still there. In fact, the cat was so comfortable around the vet's office that they let it roam at night all through the vet's office. So it had the run of the place. And we said, well, we'll take the cat. So we put the cat in the cat carrier, the same one they tried to give us 6 months earlier. We brought that cat home. Oh, by the way, we said, what's this cat's name? And they said, Lois. We said, okay, well, there you go. We only do L names for some reason. I'm not sure how this started, but we only do L names for animals. And so we brought Lois home to our house in the woods, put her in, let her out of the cat carrier in the house. She curled up in the chair and started purring and has not stopped purring since. And she is the sweetest, most loving cat we have ever met. I've had cats all my life, but I've never met a cat this loving. So Chelsea got what she wanted on her list, which was a nicer cat. And every year now, I check her list to make sure she doesn't say she wants a nicer husband. So that's the cat story.